Hi everyone, I'm Jimaku Brimstone and welcome to the review of Asylum of the Human Predator, the debut record by the band Hell Within. Today we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of the record, so I decided to go back and see if it still holds up or not. My story with this band is quite simple. Back in 2007 I visited my family in the UK. I was just buying some, cool video games and music albums, Carmageddon 2, some Need for Speed games, The Punisher, all of that stuff. And one music album, this one, caught my attention because of the cover art and the fact that it was like a special edition with a DVD called Live Asylum as well. So some live performances, some funny making of, this dirty chip, and I was like, I am not sure how this music is going to sound like, but I do enjoy the band's name, so maybe it's going to be okay. And that's how I bought my first metalcore release ever, basically, because before 2007 I was mostly listening to nu metal bands like Korn, Slipknot, Guano Apes, but also death metal like Death, Morbid Angel, Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, all of that stuff. Also some heavy metal, thrash metal, hardcore bands, and the first wave of metalcore like Earth Crisis, All Out War. But at the time I wasn't that much into metalcore music in general. Like, I did hear some Killswitch Engage and Bullet for My Valentine, but only on the TV, like Viva or MTV stations. I did not own any metalcore CD, and this is the first one that I bought. And yeah, that's my story basically. I've been a fan of this band ever since. Sadly, they broke up in 2011 and they have 3 studio records. The first 2 are almost with the same lineup, because we have the vocalist Matt McChesney on the vocals, we've got Tony and Isaiah, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, on the guitars, we've got Joe Martinez on the bass, and Brian Joyce on the drums. This is his only release with the band. He left them after this record, and those 4 dudes did come back on the second record, and then the vocalist switched bands. He went to the Autumn Offering, and the rest of these dudes I guess did the 3rd record with a new vocalist, but I am not sure who played on the 3rd release because I couldn't find any information about that. So I'm going to review the 3rd record this year as well, and I have no clue who plays on it. I'm sure they're the same guitarist, that's for sure, but who else played there? I have no clue. So let's talk about the production. It was handled by John Elias, who did their 2nd record as well, and some other underground stuff, and the entire thing was mixed by Zeus, who you might know because he did lots of records, for Hatebreed, Shadows Fall, etc. He did like 100 or 500 even metal albums through his lifetime. So yeah, the mixing is great, same with the production. I love the sound of the drums, how punchy they are, the guitars are mixed quite well. The bass is audible, it's not buried in the mix, and the vocals are also, leveled well. So I must say that this production is perfect to me. I wouldn't want to hear this record in any other version. The production slaps, message is diverse. The songs are mostly about personal struggles, anti-religion, pedophilia and Catholic Church, hardships of life, relationship issues, addictions, all of that stuff is here. Mostly it's basically about relationship issues, and vengeance, revenge, all of those themes. Now let's talk about the structure of the songs. It's between basic and advanced. Usually this band does something very interesting where they play the intro, which sometimes will loop at the end of the song, but it might not. Then we get a melody that happens like once, then a verse, a pre-chorus, chorus, then another change, then verse, and maybe chorus, and then the pre-chorus, then the post-chorus, then a guitar solo, then a breakdown, then the chorus might come back, and then they will add a new brand thing at the end of the song, then a post-chorus or pre-chorus, whatever. It's like they're basically using like 4 to 8 blocks of music, and they will repeat some of those blocks, and the other blocks, the other parts, only occur once in the song. And usually the bridge is the most developed part, where it has 3 to 5 different segments, and 3 of them only happen once in the song. The other might loop around. It might be a melody from the intro, it might be something before the first chorus. So that's what makes the structure advanced to me, because it's not that technical, to be honest, but there's lots of moving parts here and there. It makes you think that the music is very technical, even if it's not every song is like a surprise because you're not sure what you're going to get. And 2 of the songs are more basic, they don't have that much segments, like Soul Revolution for example. It follows the more standard structure of intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, bridge, a guitar solo, then the chorus and an outro. So yeah, the structure is quite nice. Now let's talk about the genre of this record. Most people are going to say that this is just a standard metalcore release, and they might be right, but I feel more influences here, especially from thrash metal, melodic death metal, even heavy metal, a slight drip of nu metal here and there, which is quite fascinating because Hell Within, before this band, they were called Twitch, and it was like 3 or 4 members from this album. Who knows, maybe some of these songs here are reworked nu metal songs. Like I feel like Swallow the Stitches, for example, has a lot of nu metal sounding guitar riffs. Even if the song is metalcore in its core, you can hear that some of those 1, 2, 3 melodies are still present, similar to Kitty or old school Korn. So that stuff is like buried underneath the layers of metalcore, thrash metal and heavy metal here. So you might notice it if you've listened to a lot of nu metal, which I did. So now let's talk about the musicianship. Let's start with the drummer. He's fantastic. I love his groove, the style precision of his playing, the double bass work, you know, do. His legs are working all the time. The snare sound is perfect, you know, just everything. I love the drums here, I wouldn't change a thing about them. Next, let's talk about the bass lines. The bass is audible, the bassist is straight up killing it. He mostly follows the guitars, but we have some moments here and there, like on the song Self-Inflicted Silence, or Soul Revolution, or Swallow the Stitches, where him and the drummer are just playing and no one else, so those are very nice moments. Then let's talk about the guitar work by both of those dudes. I forgot their names, sorry. So I adore the guitar solos on this record because every guitar solo is well crafted, it's juicy, it's memorable, it stays in your head. Then the guitar riffs themselves mostly slap, like I can just hear them in my head, like it's just so much fun, you know. So yeah, I must commend the guitarists because they've done a stellar job here for sure. And last but not least, let's talk about the vocals by Matt. His screaming is just so passionate, it's angry, he sounds like a scary banshee, like and sometimes the screaming reminds me of old school nu metal in some songs like Self-Inflicted Silence because of how much screaming and energy and emotions he puts in those moments. Like you can feel that he's like on the verge of breaking down, and then the clean singing comes in and it's just as good. I love the cleans here. I actually hate and despise metalcore singing, like I cannot stand most of it, and many people hate me because of that, because you love listening to Kill Switch Engage or Bullet for My Valentine, and usually when I hear the singing there, I know that Howard Jones is a great vocalist, or Jesse, or whoever in the metalcore world, but sometimes the singing is just so awful to me sounding, like I cannot stand it. So it's a big surprise to me that I enjoy every clean moment on this release. Like there wasn't any singing here that I would be like, eh. No, it just does not happen, and it's like astonishing. Like it's a big surprise to me, even after all those years. Like it's been such a long time, you know, since 2007, since I bought this record, and I always dig the vocals, like the singing. The singing is always great. I love the emotions in that, how he sings and then he puts another of his voice below the main melody, so it creates that very nice harmony, like so that's all fantastic. And yeah, Matt is one of my all-time favorite clean singers because of it. One that is not rooted in nu metal, because usually the best singers are in the nu metal genre. Sorry, that's just a fact. Now let's rate the individual tracks. The album opens up with Godspeed to Your Deathbed, and right off the bat we have and scream. That's the start of the record. Like they're not going to wait for an intro, it just love that, it's fantastic. The drumming is there, how many changes they add. The chorus here is actually quite interesting because the first and the second chorus, they don't sound exactly the same. They add some different melodies, you know, on the guitars or on the drums, you know, the second time it comes back. I love all of the changes. It's over now, rest your head away. is the illusion of progress. Death is not the end. So that's like the chorus. I just love it. I love how he just switches between the singing and the screaming, and all of the parts just are well connected. They transition well. Love all of this stuff. Like, this song is like a blueprint of how every other track on this record is going to sound like. While the structure is going to differ, the main idea of the song, you know, mixing the screaming and the singing, the cool guitar solo on every track, the breakdowns mixed with a very cool melodic death metal riffs, like all of that is always present. 11 out of 10. Bleeding Me Black is the only single of the record with a music video. It's a song about an ex-girlfriend, I guess, who cheated on the vocals or something because he hates her. He's like, rah, rah. He's just screaming, rah, rah, dum, 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 dum. Love the intro. Then that very dark melody happens, and then the verse, dum, 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 rah, 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 rah. And I love the chorus. She said, don't press my eyes. It's like a half breakdown, half chorus. So yeah, love that stuff. And then some singing will happen. I'm not healing, I'm just dealing with abuse. Desecrating Is this actually the Bleeding Me Black song? I am not even sure, but I love how at the end we have that breakdown. Love the guitar riffs here, the solo, the bass lines, the drumming, just everything. It's not as good as the opener, but it's so close, you know, it's so close. 10 plus out of 10. Redemption is a cult body. This one features Nick of the band Infinity Clip, I think, on guest vocals. He has that more commanding hardcore style vocals, you know. So yeah, another fantastic song. I enjoyed from beginning to the end. While it's not as memorable as the previous two songs, what makes this song stand out to me is the guitar solo, the structure, and of course the beautiful clean singing in the chorus section. Watch it burn, burn all the ashes coming over me. The smoldering ash. So that's like the chorus. So much fun. 10 out of 10. Merchants of the Blood Trade. So this is one of the weaker songs. Like, it's the weakest by far. It has no clean singing. The first part of the track drags a little bit, but what's interesting here is the structure, because we have a lot of segments here that will never repeat. Like, they occur only once in the song and then it's like over. I love the middle part of the song, the bass part, you know, the bass line, the build up. Some of the vocals sound actually a little bit doom metalish. I love the gang vocals, like in the second part of the song. That's like my favorite part, you know, those guitar riffs and the entire band just singing and screaming. Love that stuff. Yeah, this is a great song, just a little bit disappointing when you compare it to every other song on this release. 8 out of 10. A Word to Murder. So that's like the intro. Love every single section here. The screaming, so passionate, so full of aggression. And then the chorus happens. All of us think void of meaning, silence serving, silence screaming. Our burden is all, there is no hope. Something like that. I don't remember the exact lyrics, but the way he sings that is just so beautiful. It brings tear to my eye. Yeah, this track goes hard because it's like between a very heavy dark song and more beautiful because of the chorus, and yet again the guitar work is phenomenal, same with the drumming and the bass line. So yeah, 11 plus out of 10, one of the best songs here. Self-Inflicted Silence. This track, I love the scream at the beginning. Some of the guitar riffs here clearly nu metal inspired. Love the vocals here. While the music itself is not that special, I would even say that this instrumental, you know, is a little bit better than Merchants, and that's it. Every other song on the record has better instrumental work, but what makes this song stand out for me personally is the soulful vocal performance, because the screaming is vicious. It's way more vicious than on some of the other songs. Like, I wonder why was he that angry here, because he's just screaming his heart out and you can hear it. Some of the vocals with whispers are like nu metal influence for sure. So yeah, this is a great song, not perfect, but I still enjoy it a lot and I'm never going to skip it when I'm listening to the record. 9+ out of 10. Asylum of the Human Predator, the title song. This is the best track on the album by far. Save me one time, won't you? Take this blackened heart and make it whole. I'm the fear of what I am. Is the fall of man. So that's like the beginning of the song and also the chorus section. Life breeds death and disease over. Come round the tangled masses. Rise on this big roar, and then the vis over. Bam. Save me one time, won't you? Take this blackened heart and make it whole. I'm not fear of what I am. It's the fall of man. Boom. And then the screaming happens. So this is like the first minute of the song. It has lots of clean singing and the clean singing is just so beautiful. Then the song like will swap between the heavier screamy sections and more laid back, clean singing. Love the dynamics here because the song always keeps you on your toes. It shifts, it changes, but it never loses its cool, its momentum. It's like an ongoing rampage. Love everything here, especially the chorus and the singing, but also the beautiful guitar solo at the end, which morphs into the final chorus, and the final chorus is completely different from the previous ones. Actually, every chorus is different because the beginning of the song is like there are no drums, he's singing, and the guitar melody is way more simplified. Then the main chorus, it has like on the drums. That part is not going to happen in the last chorus, and the last chorus has singing and screaming at the same time, something that creates that very special tension and dynamics. I loved that in the nu metal genre because their vocalists would always like utilize those kind of techniques where a couple of voices would scream or sing the same thing. Here it's done so tastefully, save me one time, won't you? And he's also screaming under it, save me one time, won't you? And the third voice is like, he's like going, like holding his scream while the chorus is happening like louder. So those little details are what makes a classic song, something that you want to come back to after all those years. And yeah, this is the best song here, probably one of their best songs, period. But I would have to check that because I enjoyed the second album more than this one. Still, this one is also fantastic. So yeah, this song slaps. Everything here is perfect. You need to go check this one. This is one of those songs that I'm like sending to my friends who don't know this band, and they like get instantly hooked on the band, because of this track. I wonder if this band would come back these days and they would just like, don't know, make some TikToks with their music. Maybe they could blow up. I have no clue. It would be cool, because you can see from this song alone that these were some talented musicians, and the vocal performance and the lyrics were also fucking amazing. So yeah, 12 out of 10. Soul Revulsion. This is like the second worst song here, but just because I'm using the word worst, it does not mean that it's bad. Actually, the song is really good, almost perfect. I love the instrumental work, the vocals, the screaming. The chorus a little bit simple, but it's still fun. Soul Revulsion, Soul Revulsion, Soul Revulsion, Soul Revulsion. It's like that. The best part of the track, by far, is the beautiful guitar solo. Hell yeah, 9 out of 10. Swallow the Stitches. This one is great, the intro now. And then the bass line happens. The guitar. And that guitar riff is clearly nu metal. There's nothing metalcore about that one. It's like Korn and Kitty had a baby. And then the guitar riff switches into a metalcore one. So yeah, classic metalcore at the gates influence, melodic metal style. guitar riff, and then he starts singing, no, 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 rushing over me, further it's on me, I can live and die too over, and then he starts screaming the same thing, and then the clean singing is just like he threw it out of the window. There's not going to be any sang line after the intro, which is quite interesting. I wish he would sing more on this song, that's my only complaint, because everything else slaps. Love the guitar riffs, love how they basically take this one nu metal riff, they make it nu metal in some segments, and on the other segments they like make it more tremolo based, so it sounds like death metal riff, and then they turn it to more metalcore-ish one, so they're still utilizing like 2 or 3 riffs throughout the entire song, but it's done so tastefully that I cannot complain about it. It's a fantastic song, one of the best ones here by far, 11 out of 10, and the album's closer, Open Eyes to Open Wounds. I love the beginning. Yeah, it's all fantastic, the drumming, the bass lines here, the guitar riffs. Love the clean singing and also how many changes this song has. It's probably the most, advanced from the structure, right up there with Merchants. I burn these tracks that I've laid, dried out for days, I stare into the sun. I'm trapped within these 4 walls, pacing I step, fear what I've become. And after that clean singing, the breakdown happens. Where were you when I was dying? So he just like goes off, he's just so pissed, so angry. Then another crazy heavy section happens, the addiction, regression, something like that, he's screaming, and I love that heavy part in the middle of the song where like the vocalist breaks down, same with the music, you left me here to die, a shroud of sorrow, die. So his screaming becomes more as the time goes on with that section. I just love that. And then the cleansing happens. So here we are, here we'll stay until we die or fall apart. The Hara covers me again. Something like that. I butchered that. I fucked up the entire thing. Sorry for that, but I am not a singer, like, not at all. So yeah, that whole section with the singing, the screaming, it slaps. He's just like doing whoa, whoa. So like, he's doing that and then he's screaming. And that's very important because usually the those sections in metal music, like, they suck. Like, the newest Machine Head song, Bone Scraper, had that awful and I was like, what the hell is this? Is this Pitbull music or some disco or some awful pop garbage? I was so angry at that, especially since they named the song Bone Scraper, which means it would be like heavy or something, and it's like like, I hate that in music. But in this song, for some reason, it just works because he's doing the whoa whoa, but he's not doing it like it's like some happy no, it's like whoa. It has like power, it sounds better. Like, check this song out, like, write down in the comments if you agree with that line. Is it good or not? Because to me it does not sound forced or fake, it sounds like genuine, it seems like it's important. So yeah, this track is fantastic, 11 out of 10. So to sum it all up, the consistency is stable and the flow is ideal. Replayability, yeah, it's a masterpiece. I enjoyed this album from beginning to the end. There isn't any song here that I would just remove or something, because I do enjoy every single one of them. Yes, even Merchants. The highlights for me are the title song, Asylum of the Human Predator, A War to Murder, Swallow the Stitches, Open Eyes to Open Wounds, Godspeed to Your Deathbed, Bleeding Me Black, Redemption, Self-Inflicted Silence, and Soul Reversion, in that order. This one is a fantastic metalcore release with some other genres like inspiring it, and I'm very sad that it did not become like a massive hit, a success, because it deserves it. I enjoy this record way more than I enjoy Bullet for My Valentine, any of their records, or even any Killswitch Engage record. Like, yeah, I enjoyed this just way more because of the cool vocals, like the singing, the screaming, everything just works, it's connected well. Same with the instruments, the drumming, the bass lines, the guitars. Yeah, it's like one of the best metalcore albums, that's for sure. You know, like more modern metalcore, I would say. But it's not even modern because it's been 20 years. Like, in my soul, in my heart, I still feel like all those bands, you know, like Killswitch Engage, Hell Within, the bands from 2000 to 2005, they're still new to me. I don't know, I'm just old, I guess. When I think about metalcore, I think about the 90s metalcore, you know, Overcast, Earth Crisis, All Out War, you know, the stuff that you nowadays call metallic hardcore, you know, you don't call it metalcore anymore because it didn't have any clean singing, like, almost at all. It was like heavy, it had like thrash in it or death in it. It was like a different music, I would say. It's like a mix of hardcore and metal. And then metalcore came with those Killswitch Engage and Bullet for My Valentine bands. It sounded completely different from the metalcore of the 90s. I wasn't a big fan of it. Nowadays I grew to like enjoy it mostly. And yeah, Asylum of the Human Predator is one of those releases that I truly enjoy, you know, and I am not forcing myself to listen to it. I'm always happy when I listen to it, so that's the main point. So celebrate the anniversary by spinning this record today, it deserves your love and attention. That's all from me, thank you for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe, follow me on my Instagram, links in the description. I've posted this record there a couple of years ago, so you can check it out how the limited edition looks like, because I still own it. I didn't throw it away because it's important to me. Also, shout out to all of my Patreons who gratefully sponsor these videos. You're all truly wonderful. If you want, consider joining them so I can make more reviews and videos like this one, because I love making this stuff. I just don't have time. It's so sad. So yeah, that's it. See you next time. Bye.